Okay, so yeah, so let me repeat again. So yeah, this week is a midterm, which means you'll get a take-home exam. It's only 5 questions, simple ones. So you should not have any trouble finishing it. So you have 1 week to finish it, and you can submit the code, um, as a text or even code pen, in the canvas. Okay. Any question? Yeah, Professor, I sent you an email with all the questions, so that you can. Okay, all right. Somebody. Okay. Let me share my screen quickly so we can go over it. Sometime Canvas misbehaves. All right. So I just published it. And then, okay, so let's go over it. Sharing my screen. All right. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the exam is pretty simple. So basically whatever we learned so far, uh, we have simple example of those to finish it. So for example, let's say if you have an array of some numbers, right? You can use a for off loop to find the target value in the array. So let's say if the target value is 5, which is the number we're looking for, you can look through it, right, in the array. And then if you find it, you can return the output. So let's say if you find 5, then the output should be 1. Basically, you print 1, right? If the target value is 100, which doesn't exist inside, you return -1. Okay. So any questions on this one? Ask question or forever you hold your peace.
Just thinking about the students, when the output is 1, he's not referring to the index, right?
Yes, index.
Oh, it's the
Index.
the
Yeah.
index.
Yes. So if found, return the index of the element. So for example, index of 1 would be 0 and index of 5 would be 1. So
Cool.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right. The second question is, you have a bag with a bunch of items, right, inside, strings in this case, and then you want to replace cake with tea. So we are making more healthier array in this case. So yeah, this should be very simple. So at the end you'll get a milk, water, and tea instead of milk, water, and cake. All right. The next question is, you have her profile. Her name is Joe. He's 25 years old, and he's got 3 children. Okay. And so you need to find the number of children Joe hasn't printed, right? So programmatically, obviously, you can look at it and see there are 3 children, but programmatically. Okay. Any question on this one? Okay. And then 4th question is, write a function that takes a number and returns half of the number. So if I pass 6 into this function, it returns 3. If I pass 5, it would return 2.5. Don't worry about the cases where you don't pass anything and things like that. Just assume that you're always passing something and you're always returning something. Okay. And lastly, write a logic if else statement to see if you need an umbrella using is raining Boolean. So if it's raining, you need an umbrella. If it's not raining, you don't need an umbrella. So yeah, so this test pretty much tests your basic skill. There's nothing complex here, so don't try to complicate things, right? There can be more than one way of doing things, right? Whatever method you know, use it. As long as you are you understand the concept or getting closer to the answer, that should be sufficient, right? And if you know multiple ways to doing things, you can put it up. Do you want to add something, Professor?
No, it's fine. But as Professor was saying, the simple, we are not looking for something super elaborated. Sometimes when we try to do things that look more, we think professional, that have a lot of things, like then we can get lost. That also goes include like myself. They had that problem before.
Yeah, everyone got that problem. I still have that problem.
Maybe try to write in a piece of paper first before start coding how you think you will solve it. Like try to, if you're going to use a statement, just try to write it down and then just simplify it, kind of translate it to code.
Yeah. Pseudocode, pseudocoded, like, when you write on a paper, you would say, I need to do this, and then I have to take this step, and then this step, right? So then converts those steps into, code. All right. Any questions? Looks like y'all got some. Okay, hold on. Somebody just joined. I don't know who joined, but somebody just joined. I just wait. It says 6 people here, but oh, somebody's waiting in the room. Okay, yeah. I don't know what happened. Angie was waiting and then suddenly got kicked out. Okay, we'll just wait for a few minutes. And meanwhile, go over it, right? And see if you have any questions. You can still ask while we are here, right? So. Hey, Angie. So yeah, today is going to be a shorter class. It's basically midterm, so there should be an assignment, and you have 1 week to finish the assignment. So take a look at the assignment and see if you have questions. It should be pretty simple, so don't complicate things. Just most of the code should be a few lines of code. Yeah.
Sorry, most of the code should be what?
Oh, a few lines of code. Yeah. Most of this answer to most of this question should be few lines of code. Yeah. Most cases is 1 line of code, but yeah.
Oh, I see. I had a question about the homework.
Okay, go ahead.
I passed in this score. I was trying to, so initially I want to return the value from the function.
Okay.
And then be able to call the function outside, right?
Okay.
And be able to print the whole sentence with the values the function is returning. But
Okay.
when I do so, I cannot print just the values outside because it's out of scope. And
Okay.
when I call the function and I'm passing the two arguments,
Mhm.
his name and the number,
Mhm.
there is, I don't know how to add the sentence. So I tried so many ways, and I was like, I don't know what's the right way to do this.
All right, let's take a look, right? Let's take a look. So, and I'm just gonna, without giving out the homework answer, I'm just gonna create a function, right? So let's say if I have a function called A, right? And that that takes some argument B, let's say, okay? And then it does some calculation. So it returns, you know, double the value of B, right?
Okay.
Okay. And then there's some other value, right, that you have. I remember you passed something here, like a name or something, right?
Yeah, the name of the dog.
Okay, so you're not using the name inside, right?
No, I assign a default value in case there is no name.
I know, but you're not using inside in the sense, let's say let's say with the first parameter, you're doing something like some calculation, right?
Yeah, with the second nothing. Yeah.
But yeah, second nothing. So what I would suggest is if you're not doing anything with the name, you don't even need that in the function, right? So I don't know exactly what you're trying to do, but let's say if I were to console log this, A, and then if I pass, let's say 2, then it should return me 4, right?
Yeah, I'm asking because the homework is to pass two values,
Okay.
name and
I think yes, Professor. And my
one.
it's returns. Yeah.
Okay, so can you repeat repeat it? What I forgot. What is homework is you pass 2 values, and then
Yeah, and then at the end your output should print the name of the dog and whatever the age is in human years.
oh, okay. So why don't you just simply let's say here, let's say if I have a name here, right? And I just put some default value Joe, right? And this is supposed to be, let's say, age. If I can say return name is, hold on.
I was also wondering if in JavaScript you can return more than just one value.
You could, but in this case, you don't want to return more than one value, right? Because we were just discussing what is the best way to return something. So let me, I think this kind of got stuck here. So let me open another one. You could return, that's a good question. You could return more than one value, but in this case, stick with what is asked rather than what happened here. Okay.
Because I wanted to return the name and whatever number it is after the operation.
Mhm.
But I was stuck there, like maybe I just return one thing, but then how do I get the name to print it out of the function? I don't know. I just got confused. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, the question is, why is it giving this error? Okay, I'm gonna remove it for now, and then say Joe or something, right? Okay, what's happening here? const a, it's function, let me see, function, okay. It's passing B and C, okay. Oh, not returns, return, my God. I was writing pseudocode here. So here, this way, right? So here it would say Joe is 4, right? So is that what you're asking? So
Yeah.
yeah, so so if you pass the name, use it inside, compile the answer, and then return the whole thing. So that's a one way. Whenever you want to return, if you are getting the answer inside the function, build the answer and return the whole thing, right? That's the best way. If you want to write, I mean, in case if you want to write, if you want to pass, return multiple things, you can always return an object, right? But in this case, that's not needed, right? So, for example, you can, again, don't do this, but you can say name is, let's say C, and age is double the, like B, something like this, right? And then this returns an object, and then whatever you want to do with this, right? I'm not saying that this is the answer to your question, but this is a method if you want to return something more than one thing, ultimately you cannot return more than one, right? You can only return one thing, but in that one thing doesn't have to be a string or a number. It can be an object which contains multiple things, right? So
Okay.
yeah, if I want to give you like a pen, right? I can give you a pen, or let's say if I can only give you one thing, right? I can give you a pen or a phone or something, right? But if I were to give you more than one thing, I would get a bag and put all the stuff inside and give it to you. I'm still returning you one thing, but it's got multiple items inside.
Yeah, then I was confused because, okay, I wanted the name and the number, which is 2 things, but in the function, we're not doing anything with the name. So in this case, the function is just returning the result of using just one
Yeah,
of
so
the parameters,
no
or is
point.
returning 2?
Yeah, you only, as I mean, in this example, it's still returning. Function only returns one thing. It doesn't matter which function it is, right? But that one thing can have multiple things inside. As I said, I can give you a bag with lots of items inside, but I'm returning you one thing, right? Which is a bag. So that's how you think. Bag is your array or object, whatever you call it. But always, what I would suggest is whenever you're building a problem, right? Think of what is the input, right? And what is the output? Okay, if you draw it like this. So let's say the input is name and what was that? What else was that?
Dog years, like how old is the dog?
Okay, years, right? And then output would be my dog is 20 human years, right? That was human years, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
years, let's say, right? So you can map it. Okay, so name, the dog would be the name, right? So here I would say, okay, so this is where I would put the name inside, and years would go here, right? But then some sort of calculation needed here, right? Years multiply by something, right? XYZ, right? And so your function takes 2 arguments and it returns a string.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense now.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you have to return just one thing, like return X value and that's it.
Yeah, so if you look at the question, for the first one of the first thing you do is when you look at a question, you need to build something like this. And so this is called understanding the problem. What information is giving to you? What are the constraints, right? And what is the output is the user is looking for, right? So you put all of these in writing. Say, this is my input, this is my output, and that would clarify things. That, okay, if I somehow did this, this would be my output. I just need to write a function that does this, right? Okay. Often what people do is they'll just start coding. Okay. And I do the same thing. And then you get in trouble because you haven't thought through all the, condition, and you're probably not even looking at what the answer is, right? But one thing I would say is, by doing this thing, you probably learn a lot, right? This is when you get in trouble, it's the time to learn, right? If you don't get in trouble, you never learn. So I saw you putting a lot of things in the Discord, and I can see you're trying very hard. That's the most important thing. So kudos to that. Yeah. Whether you found the solution or not, but you will have a lot of discoveries when you do that. Oh, this is how it works. This is how this works, right? Because you have to try really hard, many different things.
Yeah, now I see that you can return a string and use the values between the string.
Exactly.
I guess that was the answer I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
I have a question too about the same assignment.
Sure.
I was just wondering on number 7, it says bonus. Does that mean that like that's just extra credit, or is that just also, are we supposed to do 7 and 8 as well?
Yeah, that was an extra credit that would show like how well you're understanding how to pass values through the function.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And he added another one, but if you feel your function is like finished, like we take it as well.
Okay. I'm glad there's extra credit, so that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Awesome. Yeah, then we can end this, and yeah, good luck to you all. And yeah, feel free to ask questions if you are confused on any of the questions. All right. So then let me stop sharing and stop recording. Recording. Oh, how long do you have? Okay, you have 1 week to do the homework.